Welcome back to Yashahime, Half-Demon Princess Anime Review, episode number 9. This I'm reviewing the 10th episode of the series, Gold and Silver Rainbow-Colored Pearls. Yes. This episode was a disappointment. Why do I say that? Especially as the first episode's been pretty good so far. Not the case of this one. Okay. So this one has a very weird start to it by seeing these look like siblings fighting each other. I'm like, okay. And we see this mysterious snake woman who's later revealed to be some lady. And apparently she's got past with Shishimaru. Somehow. It's never thoroughly explained. So, and then we see the half-demon princess looking for these two demons who are rampaging the countryside. And it turns out to be the brothers from the previous series. Yep, great to see these guys again, despite the fact these guys are supposed to be dead. Yeah, these guys got killed by one of the incarnations of the Raku. Yet, here they are, alive and well, with no explanation. Yeah, these essentially are the same characters. I'm not really sure why they reuse these characters for. In the show, there's no explanation of how the heck these two were even alive. It could be possible due to that incarnation being killed by Inuyasha. That's possible reason why, but who the heck knows? And we see that they're about to start fighting them, where the girls basically just bring out the weapons, and then like, oh look, these women got the real pearls. Like, brother, let's call a truce, let's try to steal those. Okay, so what do? Well, walking up just by sheer coincidence, a couple with their baby just happen to be nearby, just by sheer coincidence. Who these two people are? No idea. They wouldn't give their names at all. I don't remember. Oh yeah, by the way, the husband. Yeah, this guy has got a very lazy animation design. Oh look, tiny pearl eye, like black pearl eyes. Like wow, it's like some of these characters basically had this most laziest design. It's kind of like the studio who made the series, Sunrise, got really lazy with this episode. So, they stayed at their place because they have nothing else to do. So, and then the brothers, while basically they're eating, end up possessing the sisters, and they start fighting each other. And then Setsuna, it's like, okay, I need to get these two out. I need to get this guy out of my head, so use a Demon Slayer potion to basically exorcise both for the body. Though they apparently, despite the fact they're free, they take their pearls. So the girls, two of them go chase after them, while Morha basically is excellent behind. And she is absent for most of the episode after this. Yeah, so they chase after them. And Gabriel's like, oh cool, we have these pearls. Keep your power. And the lady's like, no, I'm going to kill you both and take your power. And they apparently get separated. Apparently they're like, their tails are kind of wrapped up. Why in the world is like this for? They kind of explain that, oh yeah, they're apparently born this way, and they have to kill each other, and the victor gets to eat the brother's remains. I'm like, that is disgusting. I mean, who would even want to do that? I mean, why would you want to commit freaking cannibalism? It makes no freaking sense at all. So she turns on them, and basically they get separated somehow. The one basically shoots fire from a horn. He basically, like, he makes a deal with Toa. It's like, okay, we'll help you in exchange. You get back pearls. Like, okay, that's fine. I told my brother back. Despite the fact that the lady points out, though, yeah, you two were actually trying to kill each other, and now you want to help them? Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like the writers are poking fun of themselves this episode. Yeah, and then of course, thanks to Setsuna, her blade put on fire by Ginka. I think that's the Ginka brother's older brother. The Ginka's the blue one. I think the orange one. I think his name is Orkia. I think his name is. He sets Setsuna's staff on fire, the blade part of it, and she uses it to slice up the gigantic snake demon and kill it. The brothers return to Ash and Morha coming late, like, okay. Also, with they have a little bit, they have a minor bit of plot development this episode with Setsuna, with Toha basically remembering what happened with the fire about 14 years prior to the events of the series, and Setsuna possibly start remembering that night. Possibly. It's not thoroughly explored. And Mora tries to gather up the extra remains, and that's where the episode ends. It's a pretty, in my opinion, a very lackluster episode. Like, the weakness, like, the woman who apparently has got a past with Sesshomaru, like, okay, let's name drop Sesshomaru for no reason. Apparently this woman's got a past with him. Somehow, it's never explained in the episode, not that I saw. Maybe it was explained in the sub, I don't know, because I didn't watch the sub, I watched the dub. That's why this episode is so lackluster. The story is so weak. Like, there's barely a plot of this episode. Just, oh, let's have the girls take on two brothers who are recycled characters from Final Act. And they're alive. Yeah. Next week looks like we'll kind of get something similar to this, but this is named next episode, it's called Curse of the Man-Eating Pond. By the way, one of the lines says Demon of the Pond is, who dares disturb the resident of this pond? I'm like, okay. So we have a guy with a very lackluster voice. Yeah. It could be this episode. Now, the way it appeared for last week's episode, the way the trailer for this episode was that it was going to be interesting. This episode was just mostly boring and lackluster. It was somewhat of a terrible episode. Like, it's like this was basically maybe like a leftover script on Final Act. They just retweaked for this series and make it so bad. Like, wow. Like, when it comes to this stuff, basically, I've seen this stuff for Case Closed, or some of the stuff for that series has been a bit lackluster, but not to this extent. Oh my gosh. So I would say up to 10 episodes of review, this is by far the worst one. Wow. I mean, it's got good animation. I like some of the minor bit of character from this episode, and basically, like, the fight sequence is actually pretty good. That's the only thing I thought was the big highlight of the episode was the action scene. Despite being a pretty short action sequence, like the first one was like barely a minute. The second one was basically a little bit longer than that. That found me more interesting. It's like the first half of this episode was like okay, and then we get pretty bad, and it's like, yeah. I just don't feel that this is a really good episode. Could this episode be skipped over and not miss anything? Yeah, this episode can easily be skipped. You can like, if you're bench watching this series, if you really watch the episode, go right ahead. But it's not necessary for the series. No. They'll have her, like, in a later upcoming episode. Well, at least that in the case of look at the titles for the next several episodes. Like, these look a lot more interesting. Like, Man Pond does look interesting to me. New Moon, Black Hair Toa, that looks interesting. Warring State, Delicious Monk. Yes, I would say 12 up until like basically 18 look very interesting for titles wise. I'm kind of hoping that we actually get something interesting for next week. Now, am I going to drop the series? No, because I'm still a fan. Because I still kind of like the series, like the characters, and that's the only reason I'm not dropping, because I love the characters. Mm-hmm. I've never dropped an anime before, and I'm not planning on dropping this one. Nope, I am not planning it. Despite the fact we've had one bad episode, I'm not going to drop the series. I'm going to keep going until the series is over with. Though in the case, I'm hoping that next episode is a lot better than this. Though with a preview, it looks kind of interesting. Like, oh, two siblings. I mean, it kind of reminds me of basically like a younger version of like, well, Moroku's son. By the way, Moroku's son is nowhere in this episode. Just the girls. And the guy who's in the little raccoon demon who's supposed to be the show's version of Shippo. And I have heard this upcoming episode when it does come up. I think it's like 15 or 16. It's actually going to bother to explain what the heck happened to the original cast. Which, that's going to be quite interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it for particular review. Stay tuned for my next review of the newest. I thought we have a good idea, but look at the time right now. It's like about 10:30, so I'll probably save it for tomorrow. But at least I got most of it done today. I'm happy with that. I got a lot of videos done today. So I'm gonna save quick discounts for tomorrow. Yep. Peace next video. Oh, and in case you're curious though, do I have to get ready for work? No, I got church tomorrow. Okay. Peace next video. Bye.